What could make a 285-pound Soviet war machine genuinely afraid? A man so convincing in his Russian gimmick that he legally changed his name to Nikita Koloff. A wrestler who refused to break character for over a year. A monster who made audiences believe the Cold War lived inside the ring. This man feared nothing except 5 wrestlers, and what they did to him is absolutely terrifying. But before we reveal who these 5 men were and what they did, let me ask you something. Would you step into a ring with a legally blind man swinging a cowbell at your skull? Stick around, because number 3 on this list ended careers on purpose. Nikita Koloff once said something that shocked the wrestling world. I only feared him. Not respected, not worried about, feared. Now, let me ask you this. What does it take to make a monster feel like prey? See, Nikita wasn't some trained wrestler who'd spent years learning the craft. He was a football player with almost 0 wrestling experience. In March 1984, Road Warrior Animal recruited him. By June, he was already on television. His debut match lasted 13 seconds. But here's the question nobody asked at the time. How long could an untrained rookie survive in the most brutal era of professional wrestling? Spoiler alert, not long enough. If you want to know which wrestler broke his neck on purpose, comment number 3 right now, and I'll tell you at the end who it was. The 1980s wrestling world was a different animal. This wasn't a scripted performance where everyone went home safe. This was controlled chaos, where the line between acting and actual violence was razor thin. What happens when veterans decide to test the new guy? What happens when a shooter works stiff because it's a matter of pride? What happens when you're in the ring with someone who can't see you coming? Nikita found out, and by 1986, he was wrestling 454 matches in a single year. That's more than 1 match per day, night after night, town after town, bump after bump. Can you imagine taking a suplex every single day for a year? Every night was a gamble. 1 wrong move, 1 stiff shot, 1 accident, career over, or worse. So let me ask you, if you knew that stepping into the ring could paralyze you, would you still do it 454 times in 1 year? Drop a yes or no in the comments right now, because I want to know if you have what it takes. Fear number 1, the blind man who saw nothing. Number 5 on the list of wrestlers Nikita feared was a legend. But he had one terrifying problem. He was legally blind. His name? Stan Hansen. Without his glasses, Hansen couldn't see anything clearly. Just shapes, silhouettes, blurred movement. So what do you do when you can't see your opponent? You swing as hard as possible to make sure you don't miss. Nikita once said wrestling Hansen was like fighting a man who saw people as trees walking. No distance control, no pulled punches, no margin for error. Every lariat came at full force. In Charleston, South Carolina, there was a bull rope match. Hansen swung a cowbell. Nikita had to leap out of the ring just to avoid being killed. The bell flew into the crowd and injured a fan. That was Stan Hansen. Not malicious, but dangerous by necessity. Would you trust a blind man swinging a weapon at your head? Comment hell no if you're smarter than Nikita. Fear number 2, the man who never slowed down. Number 4, Road Warrior Hawk. This wasn't about blindness, this was about speed. Hawk had 1 speed. Animal himself said it. Hawk operated at 150 miles per hour, all the time. He never slowed down, never adjusted, never eased up. And Nikita paid the price. Separated shoulders, broken legs, repeated injuries. With Hawk, you couldn't communicate. You couldn't protect yourself. You just survived. Or you didn't. Here's my question for you. Would you rather face a blind man who can't see you, or a man who sees you perfectly but doesn't care? Comment blind man or hawk. Let's see. Fear number 3. The man who did it on purpose. Now we get to number 3, and this one is different. The others were dangerous. This man was deliberate. Dick Murdoch, an old-school shooter. In 1987, Murdoch proved what he was capable of. He executed a brainbuster on Nikita Koloff, but not on the mat, not on padded flooring, on concrete. That wasn't an accident. That was a message. Nikita had risen too fast. He didn't pay his dues. So Murdoch enforced the hierarchy with violence. Nikita's neck was never the same. This wasn't chaos. This wasn't recklessness. This was intentional harm. If someone did that to you on purpose, what would you do? Comment revenge or walk away, because I need to know what kind of person you are. Fear number 4, the 450-pound nightmare. Number 2, Big Van Vader. 450 pounds, terrifyingly fast. Ken Shamrock, a UFC legend, once said, Vader's strikes were impossible to defend against. And in 1992, Nikita was booked against him anyway. Halloween Havoc. Vader worked recklessly. Nikita's already damaged body couldn't take it. Herniated disc in his neck. Career ending. He wrestled his final match on November 8, 1992. Retired at age 31. Vader wasn't just dangerous. Vader was final. What would you do if you knew this match would end your career? Would you still step in that ring? Comment yes or no, because this is the realest question I'll ask you today. Fear number 1, the unpredictable monster. And now, number 1, the wrestler Nikita Koloff feared most. Abdullah the Butcher. Abdullah wasn't stiff. He wasn't blind. He wasn't reckless. He was something worse. He was unpredictable. Forks, chairs, unscripted violence. He didn't follow plans. You never knew what would happen. He might work the match or carve you open. That uncertainty terrified Nikita more than anything else, because at least with Stan Hansen, you knew he couldn't see you. With Hawk, you knew he was going too fast. With Murdoch, you knew he had a grudge. With Vader, you knew he was too powerful. But with Abdullah, you knew nothing. What scares you more? Someone who wants to hurt you, or someone who might hurt you and you'll never see it coming? Comment intent or chaos. Let's settle this debate. Ric Flair, a different kind of fear. Now there was one more man, but he didn't threaten Nikita's life. He threatened his credibility. Ric Flair. A 60-minute match with Flair exposed everything, every weakness, every mistake, every flaw. Nikita loved working with Flair, but the pressure was immense. One bad performance, the Russian Nightmare collapses. Would you rather risk your body or your reputation? Comment body or reputation. I want to know what matters more to you. After forced retirement, Nikita's life changed forever. On October 17, 1993, he gave his life to Christ. Today, he calls himself the Devil's Nightmare. The 5 men he feared weren't just opponents. They were the embodiment of a business where danger was real, where every match could be your last. And surviving them? That didn't just change his career, it changed his life forever. If this story gave you chills, like this video. If you want more stories like this, subscribe. And if you think you could have survived what Nikita went through, comment, "I'm built different," right now, because I want to see who's really tough enough. And hey, next time, I'll tell you about the wrestler who made Vader afraid. Yes, Vader was scared of someone, but you'll have to come back to find out who. I'll see you in the next one.